Yes, the title of this video is for real. Today I have a story out of the novel Labyrinth of Evil, where Anakin and Obi-Wan actually get drunk, and they have a fun conversation together while on a mission. Of course it is a serious mission, but it's still a fun little thing going on here. I had a lot of fun reading through it, so I do hope you enjoy listening to today's video. And if you don't mind, please do hit the like button real quick, thank you. Alright, for some context on this, because bit weird. Anakin and Obi-Wan, they're on a frigid moon called Naos 3, where they're searching for someone important, someone who has been in contact with Dooku and Sidious many years ago. Basically, Anakin and Obi-Wan are trying to find someone to connect them to Sidious, and during the mission, they realize that this whole area is just full of cantinas. And in order to find the person they're looking for, they may need to mingle in and out of these cantinas, do some bar hopping, if you will, blend in by drinking and asking questions. It's a fun story, so I'll get into it right now. With the snow falling harder in Naos 3, the two stopped to get their bearings. Obi-Wan gestured to a nearby cantina. This has to be the 15th cantina we've passed. On this street, Anakin said. If we stop for a drink in each one, we'll be drunk before we reach the bridge. With any luck, Obi-Wan said. Still, they're likely to be our best source of information. As opposed to just looking up her name in the local comm directory, Anakin said. And a lot more fun, Obi-Wan said. Anakin grinned. Fine with me. Where do you want to start? And completing a circle, Obi-Wan pointed to a cantina diagonally across from them. The Desperate Pilot was its name. 4 hours later, half drunk and near frozen, they entered the final cantina before the bridge. Brushing snow from the shoulders of their cloaks and lowering their hoods, they scanned the patrons crowding the bar and occupying nearly every table. Not a lot to do in Naos 3 when you're not fishing, Anakin said. I've the distinct impression that some drinking goes on even during work hours, Obi-Wan replied. Replacing two Rhodians who stumbled away from the curved bar, they ordered even more drinks. Anakin began sipping from his glass. 10 cantinas, as many lengthened females, and every one of them claims to have been born on world. I'd say we're in for a long stay here. And Obi-Wan replied, Kassar didn't supply you with anything else to go on. Scars, tattooed Leku, anything. Anakin shook his head. Nothing. When Obi-Wan signaled for the human bartender, Anakin added, You order one more Twi'lek appetizer. I promise I'm going to cut your arm off. And Obi-Wan laughed. I found the Izzy mold at the last place to be very flavorful. Anakin took another sip. And speaking of arms, were we? Obi-Wan asked. We were, said Anakin. At least I think we were. Anyway, remember in that Outlander club on Coruscant, when you went off to get a drink? Did you have any inkling that Zam Wessel would be the one to follow you? And if you don't remember, Zam Wessel was the bounty hunter in Attack of the Clones, the changeling, that Anakin and Obi-Wan actually tracked down, and they're referencing that point right now. Anakin asking Obi-Wan about it. On the contrary, Obi-Wan said, I actually knew she would follow you. Implying that shapeshifters have a special fondness for me, Anakin asked. With the way you were strutting around, what female could help herself? And Obi-Wan mimicked Anakin's voice now. Jedi business. Then you admit it. You were using me as bait, Anakin replied. A privilege that comes with being a master, Obi-Wan said. You have more than repaid me in kind, in any case. And Anakin raised his glass. A toast to that, my master. Seeing the bartender approach now, Obi-Wan placed a sizable credit chip under his empty glass and slid it forward. Another drink, please, and the rest is for you. An athletic man with red hair that fell almost to his waist, the bartender eyed the credit chip. Rather large rumination for such a rudimentary libation. Perhaps you'd permit me to concoct something a trifle more flavorsome. What I'd actually prefer is a bit of information, Obi-Wan said. Now, how did I guess? The bartender replied. We're looking for a Lethan female, Anakin said. Who isn't? The bartender asked. And Obi-Wan shook his head. Strictly business. That's what it often is with them, he replied. I suggest you try the Palace Hotel. You don't understand, Obi-Wan said again. Oh, I think I do, the bartender replied. Look, Anakin said, this one probably isn't a masseuse, or a dancer, Obi-Wan thought to add. Then what would she be doing on Naos 3? The bartender asked again. She used to be a pilot, with a taste for spice, Obi-Wan said, and then he watched as the bartender reacted closely. She would have arrived on Naos 3 within the past 10 or so years. The bartender's eyes narrowed. Why didn't you say so to begin with? You mean Jen? The name we know her by is Fayala Lay. My friends, on Naos 3, a name is nothing more than a convenient handle, the bartender said. But you do know her, Obi-Wan said. I do. Then you know where she can be found. The bartender jerked a thumb. Upstairs, room 7. She said you should go right up. And the story continues on with Anakin and Obi-Wan finding her, getting into a skirmish, of course, and ultimately escaping and learning some vital information. The woman actually informed the Jedi of where she once met with Dooku and Sidious, a place called The Works on Coruscant. And I'm going to make a whole separate video here eventually on the Jedi finding the hideout of the Sith on The Works very soon. So subscribe to see that. Anyways, what did we think of today's fun story? Anakin and Obi-Wan indulge in some drinking and some bar hopping, just like you, just like me. Anyways, they reminisce on old times on Coruscant, the last time we saw these two in a bar, chasing Zam Wesell the bounty hunter in Attack of the Clones. I thought it was really, really fun. I don't know. It's cool to see this type of thing, this side of the heroes we just really don't ever see. Of course, they were offered the death sticks in Attack of the Clones. Who knows what happened? What if Obi-Wan were to say yes, It's a fun little path to go down. What if Obi-Wan took some death sticks? What if him and Anakin just said, you know what, screw all this Jedi stuff, and just went crazy? Anyways, obviously that didn't happen. But today's story, I was reading through it and I thought, you know what? Why not make a video on this topic? It's not nearly as serious as the other lore I cover, but it's still an insight, a fun conversation into the characters that we just love to learn about. So I thought, hey, let's talk about it. Of course, let me know what you thought. If you enjoyed, please, hit the like button, subscribe. We do videos every single day. Fan fictions, lore, streams are picking up much more. We're almost to 5,000 subscribers, which is just insane to me. So we're going to keep the content up. If there's any other topics, any other fan fictions you'd like me to cover, please let me know. Like I said, I'm going to be making a video on the Jedi actually finding the Sith layer in the works, or observing it, go from there. We'll see what happens when I read it to you. And of course, I also want to go over a video probably tomorrow. Dooku and Sidious actually discussing the time that Dooku told Obi-Wan about the Sith, about them infiltrating the Senate, and just why he did it. That's probably tomorrow. But anyways, thanks a ton for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. Yeah, have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.